Sean, what's up?
Greetings, Edgewenka. It's good to be here again. How are you doing, viewers? A lot going on indeed. In fact, we had a major cybercrime activity that occurred on November 12. And the question I'm putting to the financial institutions in this territory is whether or not that cybercrime also affected the BVI on that very said date. Because 3 banks were affected, we were told over the weekend: Banco Popular, Scotia, and First Bank here in the BVI. Now, Banco Popular and First Bank and Scotia were also affected in the USVI. And in the USVI, the officials there reported the incident since November 13th. In fact, we had some information coming out that really confirms this. But today, the Premier and the Minister of Finance, Dr. Orlando Smith, broke the silence, as it were, as it relates to an official declaration or some official information on the matter. And he pointed out that the banks have confirmed that they are going to restore the monies, at least the balances of the various account holders who are affected, and basically people will be reimbursed. He also indicated that there are plans to move further ahead and ensure that the financial institutions are much more protected, possibly from any further cyber attacks in the future. But let's hear the Premier as he comments on what he heard from the banks.
Within the past few days, the Visa debit cards issued by a couple of banks stationed here in the BVI had been compromised. Our banking regulator, the Financial Services Commission, has moved swiftly to address this problem, and as of this date, we can confirm that appropriate action has been taken to ensure that the requisite steps to safeguard the accounts of the customers of these banks have been taken. Some customers within the BVI have been affected, although as of now, it certainly appears that the numbers are being quite low. I'm also assured that the banks will take the actions necessary to ensure that compromised accounts will be reinstated to their correct balances.
Now, Cromwell, on November 22nd, TechWarm.net said that the Virgin Islands, the USVI, was reeling under a massive security breach. And First Bank BVI there confirmed that the breach had in fact occurred, and they pointed out that their institutions on St. Croix and in the BVI were also affected. That is November 22nd. And not until over the weekend we heard that this also affected customers here in the BVI. Even up to this point, we have not seen an official release coming out from the local institutions, apart from, of course, that statement that the Premier delivered today at a press conference held at the Premier's conference room.
Well, certainly, Sean, that looks like careless public relations. However, it's good news to hear that the person's accounts is going to be restored, because I know many persons can't afford to lose a penny from their whether it's their savings or their checking, they have their bills to pay, and it really must be a horrific experience trying to get money from your account only to find out that you don't have any money. The other issue, Sean, and of course, and I haven't heard anything about this, and maybe you could shed some light on this. What are the banks going to do to have additional security? Because now there's a trust issue. You know, right. People used to think that the safest place in the world for their money is in the bank. And when you put your money in the bank and you go to the bank to get your money and it's not there, certainly you have to be emotionally shaken, particularly regarding trust. So can you shed any light on what the banks are thinking regarding additional security?
Again, I can't speak for the banks, but I can tell you that what the Premier said today was quite assuring. The Finance Minister pointed out that there is a draft legislation being worked on at the moment to bring into being a deposit insurance here in the BVI for account holders in the various financial institutions, upwards to $100,000 per account. And this, he's saying, is not currently present, doesn't obtain at the moment in the BVI. So I suspect that we can look forward to that level of security in terms of having a deposit insurance coming in the near future. But from the bank's perspective, we can't say what they are saying because they aren't saying anything.
Well, we hope we could hear from them pretty soon, and certainly having insurance to protect your deposits is a good measure that should give us some measure of comfort.
Exactly.
Yes.
But one quick point before I go, which also relates to this particular development happening on November 12th. The HSBC Turkey, the global banking conglomerate in Turkey, HSBC, they said that they were also attacked on November 12th. The hacking affected some 2.7 million customers. The bank did say that they issued a statement again, and they said that their security team spotted the attack on its credit card and debit card systems, but they were able to stop the thieves, the folks who were carrying out that act by ensuring that they weren't able to take any money from the respective accounts. However, the bank said that the information was stolen and it affected the bank's operation. So basically what happened here in the USVI, and we suspect also in the BVI, also happened over there in Turkey and maybe even other places that we haven't yet heard about.
Well, that's interesting news. And so we're going to keep abreast of those developments over the next several weeks to find out exactly what's happening, and so we could have some kind of some measure of comfort in the security of our hard-earned money. Thank you very much for that report, Sean. That was quite revealing and very important.